Hello, 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 and good morning. It is Bertram Lansco, and thank you for coming to or attending or viewing this week's Renown Career Report. It's been a busy past couple weeks. We were filling up some roles a week before last, and last week from Monday through Wednesday, I spent a lot of my time the first half, or I say the first 3 days of the week at HFMA. So they had a summit in Tampa at the Marriott Hotel on Water Street. Fantastic location. I'm definitely going to post some updates about that. But we are back to normal and also back with some jobs and opportunities. So really glad to have this. We'll always try to make it worth everyone's time. We're not just going to have a live or just have these conversations with folks just to be on here and waste up time in your space. But definitely we have some updates to share with you. The conference, if you may be wondering, was fantastic, and we're definitely seeing a lot more decision makers that we are dealing with. I'm talking about the C-suite, right, and the VPs. Not that they're not going or attending the AHIMA shows or the APC shows, but we can definitely find a lot of them there. And a lot of these individuals, they're so busy, sometimes they're not even able to attend, but we try our best to make it work. I was surprised by how many connections that I didn't know, or even clients that I didn't know that were going to be there, but they showed up. So they didn't want to confirm because they were not sure about their schedule and their time, but they're able to move some things around, and it was really nice. I felt it was a really planned and a great conference. Definitely had a lot of great things to take away, not just from a professional standpoint and connection and networking standpoint. That's always invaluable, and that's why we do it, and that's why we're always going to continue to do it, because being virtual and being online and being on social is fantastic, but there's nothing like, as my mentor would say, looking at the white of somebody's eyes with the white of your eyes in person. So it's really nice to be able to do that. But yeah, just also personally, a lot of the things that they were talking about are just life lessons, and I'm taking those life lessons and I'm applying them to my day-to-day, whether it's dealing with my kids or trying to inspire them, or trying to get homework done, just any of these things. It's just fantastic. So definitely have had a lot to take away from that. I was immediately able to get home as well and get back to work, and also instill some of the values and the things that I learned on my team. So as I said, personally and professionally, it was fantastic. It was a 5-state summit, and looking for the opportunity to do it again next year. But yeah, here we are. So I want to get into the career report, and as we usually do, we will share about and talk about some of the positions that we filled as of recent. So as of recent, we've had the physician or the Profi ED coder, as well as if that person needed auditing experience. Interesting enough, this is with an AI company, and what they're doing in this space is fantastic, right? It's a truly automated, right? How the system is working, and these positions for those folks that have been hired are quickly getting promoted onto the next step as to be, let's say, more of an auditor for the company. So it's really a fantastic opportunity for those folks that did happen to have that experience. We do not have any more openings, but it's always great for you to know about the types of positions that employers, recruiters are sharing, because that will help you understand about probably more about their business and what you're more likely to see. So we don't have an immediate physician coding opening, but I do see us having potential for that in the future. We also filled a hospital same-day surgery coder. That person is up and running. They're good to go. Everything's going fantastic. They passed their audits, they're released, and we're off to the races. So really glad for them to be able to do that. And there were a lot of lessons learned with some of the more recent onboardings with clients, and I think that just helped or enabled this person to be a lot faster in what they're doing. So another great placement by the team, and looking forward to having a lot more. For the current openings, and there are two, so we're looking for folks that may have some experience with outpatient surgery, and if you've had some experience with interventional radiology. We have an opportunity to really go big in this space, and we also have some training that could be available for the right candidate. So if you have an acute care background with outpatient surgeries, and you do same-day surgeries very strong, and you have some interests, or you may be more open to doing more interventional radiology or in building that skill set, we'd definitely love to hear from you, and I'll share that more in a little bit, as well as inpatient coding for community-based hospitals. So the interventional radiology outpatient coding position, we need you to at least have 3 years of outpatient similar surgery coding experience, your current AHIMA or APC credentials, not apprentices. And if you would happen to have some interventional radiology experience, it's going to be a plus, right? We would definitely love for you to have that. But if you don't happen to have that, unless you're interested, right? And becoming a subject matter expert essentially on that, we'd definitely love to hear and connect with you. These are for future openings. And if that person is very strong, as I mentioned, in outpatient simulated surgery coding, we can definitely get them going. And it's a full-time remote position, and there's a lot of growth opportunity that we have within Renown. So that is why we are posting this position. So as I said, once again, if this person, let's say, is a super strong interventional radiology coder, we're going to make sure that you know everything that you need to know and that you're good to go. And you can do this more probably on a full-time, maybe even progress, right, to doing more auditing in the future. And if you, let's say, are a strong outpatient same-day surgery coder on the acute care hospital or facility coding side, we can get you trained up, get you all the education and one-on-one mentorship that you need to really become strong in that. And then you'll also be off to the races. But this is more for a future opportunity, nothing rather immediate. But as you know, these niches and how these niches work is that they're usually very specialized. And we can find an opportunity tomorrow, right? But we just want to put this out there, and this is what we're looking for, okay? The next opportunity is for an inpatient coder on the acute care side. So then again, at least 3 years of inpatient coding, acute care coding experience, current AHIMA and APC credentials, not apprentices, as well as your acute care coding experience is required. So we cannot accept, let's say, critical access, right? We can't accept for this position, skilled nursing facility, long-term acute care. Those are different ways that the coding is done within the workplace. We're talking about more community-based hospital or higher. So somewhere around 250 to 300 beds. Teaching trauma, not needed, but definitely can be a plus, okay? And we pay pretty well, and we have really good benefits. A full-time remote position, you can work from anywhere within the US, and as well, an opportunity to grow with us. So one of the big things that we're looking to do within Renown Talent is provide an opportunity to grow, whether that be, let's say, going from coding to auditing to management, lateral moves. We really look at it as, why don't we utilize the talent that we have to fill some of the upcoming needs and retooling them. And that used to be the thing within staffing. That used to be the thing. I remember one of my first placements, Chris, she went to this facility in Idaho and everything was fine. She went there, she was doing the coding, and then she had the opportunity to train somebody that would be essentially her replacement, because she was just really an interim. It was like a 4-week assignment, right? So she did 2 wraps of 10s essentially. So she went there for like 2 weeks, and then came back for like a long weekend, and then she went back out for another 2 weeks. And I believe it was on her return, she was able to work with her replacement. And the fantastic thing about that, because she was flexible, she was able to get that hands-on coding experience, of course, but also she did some education, some training, and some auditing. She did so fantastic for that respected staffing manager on the sales side that they kept her in mind. And as soon as they had a fully remote position for this client in New Jersey, they placed her at that client. So now she's fully remote, doing a fantastic job. I shared with her probably one of the keys for you getting that opportunity is because you went above and beyond for that client, so they remembered you. And you know what she did? She did that again at the next client. The next client kept her through the staffing agency for 6 years before they did what? They bought out her contract. They said, you know what? We just love Chris so much. Let's go ahead and bring her on board full time. So they bought out her contract. And that was a great transaction overall. So she loved working with them. We love having her there, but that's the potential of some of these staffing opportunities. Not always like that, of course, right? Sometimes we know for sure it's going to be a short-term gig, but she definitely put herself out there and did a fantastic job. So once again, if you happen to have that inpatient coding experience, we would love to hear and connect with you. And that's the thing. If you are interested in any of these opportunities, feel free to apply at Renown Talent /careers. Feel free to send me your resume at info@renowntalent.com, or just message me. Say, hey, Bertram, I saw your career report. I saw or heard you're looking for somebody. Or if you have a referral, we do pay referral bonuses as well. Just reach out to us that way as well. And our next revenue cycle roundup is this Wednesday. We're taking a break next week because I'm going to be at the Louisiana AHIMA conference speaking, as well as networking and spending time with vendors and clients and whoever we see out there. So that's going to be fantastic. And then we're going to be returning the following week after spring break. So that's spring break Florida time, I guess you would say. So I know spring break is a little bit different for everybody depending on the schools, states, and locations as to where you are. But we are having our spring break, and our children, our schools are out next week. But that's where I'll be next week. So there's no roundup next week. But for those that can attend, please make sure you turn into this Wednesday. We're going to have Kimberly J. Williams. I can't wait to have her on board. and speaking with her about the roundup. I remember she invited me to the symposium last. It was like last year. Was it November? I think it was November, right? On a Saturday morning, and I signed up. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, let's go. Right? I believe her chapter is a Galveston, Houston, anyway, somewhere in Texas. So I'm like, okay, cool. We'll do it. We'll be fine. Everything's good. And I remember I signed on like 10 or so minutes before my time to speak, and there were over 200 attendees to the symposium. It was crazy. Had a fantastic audience. And if you saw a roundup of last week, Wednesday, Trish was part of, and our speaker last week, she was actually one of the attendees of that roundup. So the way that I connect the dots is if I didn't get a chance to speak with Kimberly and bring on the roundup, I probably wouldn't have met Trisha as well. And everything that Trisha is doing in terms of being an expert witness and all of those things. So we're going to post more videos about Trisha's experience over the next few days, but I'm definitely excited to have Kimberly on the roundup this coming up Wednesday. So once again, it's Bertram. Definitely love to be here. Appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully you will have a fantastic week. For those that are grinding it out till spring break, definitely do that. I will be online the beginning of next week. But of course, with the kids and spring break and travel coming up, we will just have to kind of like see how that goes. But we love and appreciate you, and feel free to reach out and let us know if you have any referrals or if you have any interest in the jobs that we have posted. I'll talk with you again very soon. Bye-bye.